Welcome to Sales Secrets from the Top 1%, where the world's best sales experts share their secrets to sales success. My name is Bornancin, a serial salesperson and entrepreneur, and I'm sitting down with the world's best sales experts to share their top secrets to sales success. Hello and welcome to this episode of Sales Secrets from the Top 1%, where the world's best sales experts share their secrets to sales success. And I'm thrilled, honored, humbled, and grateful to have with me today, Cynthia Barnes. Cynthia is the founder of the National Association of Women Sales Professionals, which is a community of over 13,000 women in sales whose mission is to help women in sales reach the top 1%. Cynthia is also the founder and CEO of Barnes Sales Institute, a top 35 women in sales influencer, a sales trainer, keynote speaker, an overall boss in sales whose top goal has always been to empower women sales professionals through unparalleled support, advocacy, and professional sales development. We're thrilled to have you here with us today. Thank you, Cynthia, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So the audience is dying to know two things, Cynthia. Sales secrets from the top 1%, where the world's best sales experts share their secrets to sales success. They want to know what is your top sales secret. But before we get into that, and before we share the what, the why, the how of your sales secret, people are dying to know, who is Cynthia Barnes? How did you get started in sales? Where are you from? Where have you worked? And then what are all the micro secrets, the key successes, failures, everything that you've learned, the takeaways from all of your experiences that helped you level up to the next sales gig and the next sales gig, which leads into your success today. So without further ado, I'd love to just learn more about you, your background, and how you got started in sales.
Okay. Sales for me started a long time ago. I like to say that I have been selling since Girl Scout cookies were $1.50 a box.
Nice.
I'll let you do the math. Yeah. When I was a kid, my father, who is African-American, grew up in the segregated South, Jim Crow. And he sat me down when I was 6 years old and he said, Sin May, everybody from the South has a middle name of May, right? He said, Sin May, I've got to tell you something and this is important. And so I knew he was serious. And he said, you have two strikes against you. He said, you're Black and you're a girl. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, that means that from now on, in order to be successful or good in life, you're going to have to do things twice as hard as everybody else in order to get half as recognized. And I said, whoa, okay. At 6 years old, you really don't kind of understand what that's all about. And then he went on to say, and while I'm at it, I want you to know there are three types of people in the world. Those who make things happen, those who wait for things to happen, and those who wonder what the hell happened. He said, so mark my words, in order to be successful, you will have to make things happen and you'll have to work very, very hard. So fast forward about a year, I'm 7 years old, and I go to my Girl Scout cookie meeting, and they hand out these Girl Scout cookie sheets because we're going to sell cookies, right? So they're handing out one sheet for everybody. How many did I take?
Two.
Wow. Two. And that started me on the path of working very hard and trying to be the best. And as a result, I've been at the top of the leaderboard in sales as an adult ever since.
Wow. So first off, that was some powerful advice from your father.
Daddy loves his little girl.
So he just kind of gave you this mindset of like, you just got to always go out there and assume responsibility and make things happen.
Always control the controllables. And if it's to be, it's up to me.
If it's up to be, what was that little micro secret?
If it is to be, it is up to me.
I love that. That's some great advice. So, did you always after that experience, did you always know you wanted to do sales, or how did it evolve into, your sales career today?
I got my first selling job by accident. I thought I was going to be an enrollment counselor at a university, but it was a for-profit university, and we were measured based upon the number of enrollees. And then about 3 months later, they said, well, you're doing such a good job, we're going to give you extra money. And so I tripled my income. And I thought, well, awesome. Had you told me that I was going to earn extra money, I would have worked harder. So that's what I did. I taught myself selling, and away we went. I liked it. I liked being able to earn what I was worth based upon my effort.
Yeah, I love that. The meritocracy and the earning of a meritocracy. Yeah, it's interesting. I used to sell for Google, and we did a ton of for-profit stuff, and it's all about maximizing enrollments.
Yes.
So like, did they teach you, so when you were selling for the university, was it all about like, what was that experience like? How did you become the best at that on your team? Like, what were you doing differently, or what were some of the key takeaways or secrets there?
I was devouring everything I could get my hands on that was sales training. So I used to, this is back when there were audio cassettes. So I was listening to Brian Tracy's Psychology of Selling. So I would listen to the first half, or side A, on the way to work, and side B on the way home. I was working a ton of hours, listening to everything I could get my hands on, reading every book that he recommended. I became a student of sales. And the way I thought about it was, I wouldn't go to an accountant who didn't have tax books on the wall. I wouldn't go to a lawyer who didn't have references and who wasn't a student of his craft. And I surely wouldn't go to a doctor that didn't participate in continuous professional development. And if I was going to be a top-notch salesperson, I needed to have a habit of always taking in education, always, regardless of whether or not my company paid for it.
That's awesome. So you think joining the top 1% of the sales team there was all about just constant training and education? And
constant.
Repeat.
Constant.
Yeah.
Constant.
That's amazing. And
you
then
take in the knowledge and then you implement.
Yeah. So you're big not only on trying to learn as much as possible from these sales experts, but like, how would you make sure that you would actually apply it? Because I feel like a lot of people out there in sales, they'll learn something, but then they won't apply it.
Well, I didn't know any better. So I was taking all of the scripting that I learned in the books and all of the habits, and I figured, well, they know more than I do, and I would apply it. What I learned was that sales training and traditional sales approaches were created by men for men at a time when men made up the majority of the sales force, right? Right.
Yeah.
So what I had to do, and the secret that I learned early on, was that I had to take that scripting and alter it to mirror my authentic voice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's like a micro secret right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, as they say at the Chinese food restaurants, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah, there you go. At the Chinese restaurants, it's good. Okay, so training, constant training, taking all of the sales scripts, customizing them to you, your voice, your authenticity, and then how long were you selling for this school for?
For 6 years.
Wow, that's a while. When did you find out that you got? It sounds like you didn't know that you would like get paid more or a commission. Why didn't they tell you that immediately?
Because it wasn't official. And as a university, they didn't want to broadcast that it was a commission-based role.
Got it.
But I found out that it was. And then I could start to negotiate and say, well, if I do this many enrollments, how much will I get? Because salespeople are goal-oriented. Yeah. And you hit a target that you don't see. So I said, well, if I hit this, I want to be paid this. And they said, okay. And then I learned to ask for more.
Love it. And what do you mean by that? You learned to ask for more?
Well, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? So if you don't ask for what you want, you'll never have the chance to get it. So if they say, if you enroll 10 students, you get paid $10,000, well, why not ask for more? The worst they can say is no, but it gives you some leverage to be able to negotiate. Wow.
Yeah, I love that. So were you pretty aggressive on asking for what, just raises or more commission, or how did that work?
Everything. I wanted extra benefits. I wanted extra perks. I wanted a free degree. I wanted
that. You're just like, I asked for everything.
I asked for everything.
They got cake. They got cake in the kitchen. I want that too.
I negotiated extra long lunch hours. I negotiated flex time. When you're in the top 1% and you are performing better than anybody else, you have leverage to be able to ask for things.
Yeah, you could basically write your own ticket.
You can. You can. And from there, my boss said, you know what, Cynthia, you're really good at this. You can get a real sales job if you wanted to. And I said, what does that look like? And so she said, well, try pharmaceuticals. And I thought, well, why not? So in pharmaceuticals back then, you got 2 Amex cards. One of them was a black card, back when they had the black card. You get a car.
That's sick.
Yeah, you get your own team to set up appointments for you. Yeah.
Yeah, they give you the cars, right?
Right.
Was it a sick car or no?
It was a Dodge. It was brand new. It was some kind of Dodge, Intrepid, I think.
Got it. Like a brand new car. That's not bad.
Brand new,
That's
0
sick.
miles.
Wow. And gas card, gas paid
and
for.
gas card, and they paid the insurance, all that.
What made you, why did your boss tell you like, hey, you should leave the university and go like full time into a real sales gig?
I think she knew that I would slowly outgrow what I was doing. They had sent me to multiple campuses to open them up. And because I got a taste of the good life, I think she knew that I would outgrow that role.
Got it. Nice. And then, so then you started looking, you were like, yeah, I'll check out pharmaceuticals. And that's when you joined Searle.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Awesome. And, so tell me about that experience. Totally different. You're not
different.
Not selling enrollments anymore. Were you selling to like who were you selling to?
Doctors. Doctors. I was selling Arthritek, which is an arthritis drug, a pain reliever, Celebrex, and Ambien.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a totally different type of sell. Brian Tracy said that if you sell tangibles, you can't sell intangibles, or that's the way I interpreted it. But I was on a mission to say, well, why not? So even though I was selling an intangible, the college education with the warm and fuzzy and wrap my hands around the students until they graduate, I was now into a product-based business where I went in, had 30 seconds with the doctor to try to influence him to be able to, or to get him to write my drug. Wow. And I slowly learned that that's not the type of selling that I wanted to do.
Got it. Now I know you were there for a few years though. So like, how do you sell? Like, how would you sell these doctors in 30 seconds or less? Like, what are the secrets there?
The secret, the one thing I learned was you always package your materials in a brightly colored envelope with something inside, something that's bulky, because it arouses curiosity. Nice. So they would have to open it, and they would open it up and find my literature. However, I'd also put a personalized note that inspired them to want to see me the next time I came to the office.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like totally out of the box. Like, okay, was it like a big bulky package or
no? It was just an 8.5 or a 9x12 envelope. It was normally brightly colored, either blue or green, because those were our company colors for Celebrex. And I put candy in it, odd shaped candy, so that they would say, well, what is this? And every time I gave them one, it was something different. So they would say, well, what kind of goodies am I going to get? It's almost like a Cracker Jack box.
Yeah. I don't even know. Is Cracker Jacks? I don't even know if that they still
Am I dating myself?
Dude, that's hilarious. I used to love those boxes.
Yeah, exactly. The same amount of curiosity is relevant in adults and apparent in adults as it is in kids.
So you just created the Cracker Jack box of pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, so you've got the envelope, and then like, what'd you learn with the pitch? Because 30 seconds doctor, they probably get hit up by 50,000 pharmaceutical sales reps. Like, how would you get their attention and then get them to write your drug more? Like, just because I've never been in pharmaceutical sales, I don't even know where to start there.
So I took the traditional training that I got, and I was walking in and I was going through my pitch and the show and show up and throw up kind of thing. And a doctor stopped me and he said, how long did you go to training? And I said, 6 weeks. He said, how long do you think I went to school? And I said, well, 12, and then plus probably another 12 because you're a specialist. And he said, do you really presume to stand there with your 6 weeks of training and presume to tell me that you know more about my patient population and what's best for them compared to my 12 years of post-high school? And I stopped and I thought, dang,
yeah,
he's got a point.
Yeah.
He's got a point. So instead of me showing up, telling him about my drug, even though I was the authority on my drug, I now had to think about what's in it for him so that he can best take care of his patient population. It was a mind shift. So I started going in, and first of all, I took a step back and I had to do some investigation. What do doctors want most? They don't want to write drugs. That's my goal. What do they want? They want patients who are healthy, who are happy, who refer others to them. They also want to make money. So with those goals of what do my prospects need, that's how I started thinking about how can I deliver the value to make their lives easier. Another way to think of it is if you have a prospect and your prospect, let's say his name is Charlie, and he goes to the bar at the end of the week, he sets his craft beer on the table, and the guys around him say, you know what, Charlie, what happened this week? How's work going? And Charlie says, man, you're not going to believe this. I was able to do this. You as a salesperson, if you're able to help Charlie accomplish this, then you're in there.
Nice. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So you kind of did this mind shift of not show up and throw up, right? You know, okay, what the hell does this doctor really care about?
Exactly.
You know, how can I help him? How could I help him serve his ideal customer personas, which are these patients?
Yes.
And then changed your whole pitch. Like, well, if they cared about keeping their patients healthier and making money, what did you like? How would you change your pitch to accomplish that?
First of all, I had to express empathy and let him know that I understood what his goals were, and to let him know that I was in concert with him and I was here as a resource to help him accomplish his goal.
Yeah,
whether or not he wrote my drug, that was irrelevant. I happened to think that my drug would help. However, I wanted to be that resource for him and also to be that subject matter expert so that when he did have questions on, hey, I've got a patient with this type of condition, Cynthia, what do you think would be best?
Awesome.
A trusted advisor.
Yeah. Subject matter expert, trusted advisor. And
right.
And it kind of sounds like you stopped hard selling him and just was there to help.
Yes. That's
awesome.
what it was all about. And I was well versed in all things arthritis.
Okay.
Not just my drug.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can't be a resource for someone if you only have one viewpoint and one paradigm and one expert opinion on one thing. You have to know the industry. You have to know what your prospect is going through. What are the ebbs and flows of the industry? What challenges are they facing?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And is that the biggest secret that you had of like your experience doing the pharma sales was just becoming that trusted advisor, that expert in the space?
I took that everywhere I went, whether I was selling logistics services with TQL or selling skincare with Mary Kay. It was about knowing the industry and knowing how to best help the prospects solve what keeps them up at night.
Awesome. What keeps them up at night? Yeah, that's great. So then you're doing the pharmaceutical thing. You got the car, the black Amex. Sounds pretty sweet. But you said it earlier when you started talking about this that you were like, yeah, it just wasn't, it sounds like it wasn't like right for you.
No.
Why is that, you think?
When you excel in an area and you reach the top of the leaderboard, where do you go from there? I was on a mission to see what I could sell in multiple verticals and to see whether or not I was up to the challenge of getting to the top of a leaderboard in another vertical.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I've sold so much random shit that I love going different. Like you learn so much going to different companies and different industries, and then you can apply it all. That's another micro secret. So you were like, okay, I'm at the top here now. You did the University of Phoenix. You crushed the enrollments. You crushed the arthritis drug selling. I don't know anything about arthritis. And then, you know, when you were looking at options, what made you decide, hey, I want to go into Mary Kay?
I wanted the benefits of entrepreneurship with taking my skill set of sales, but I wasn't ready to go full blown into, I want to start something from the ground up. I wanted an established system of success that I could walk into to see whether or not I wanted entrepreneurship.
Got it. Yeah. It's almost like a franchise in a way.
Exactly. I was taking their secret sauce and their secret formula, applying it to what I wanted to do, and then using that as a launch pad.
That's awesome. So you joined Mary Kay. Did someone pitch you on it? Like one of your friends or what?
Yes.
Okay.
You've got such great skin. Have you ever had a Mary Kay facial?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I should.
And
though.
I said, really? And so my first thought was, I could really teach you how to sell better. So that's what I was thinking, but I wanted to hear what she had to say.
Got it. So one of your friends tried to pitch you the product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She said, have you ever had a Mary Kay facial? And I said, well, no. And is that your pitch? But it turned out to be a really great blessing.
Wow. So you're like, is that your pitch? I want to learn more about the pitch.
Yeah. I want to know who's teaching you. Who's teaching you that?
Okay.
Yeah. So I went in it thinking, okay, I want to learn more. I want to know who's teaching you that. And maybe I can help you unlearn that so that you can be more effective. My teacher hat went on.
Awesome. And so then you sign up basically?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Sign up.
And then it's like, because Mary Kay is all about selling everyone in your network, right?
That's what they teach you. Do 30 faces in 30 days. Hold a mirror underneath their nose. If it fogs up, that's a client. I thought that there was a different way to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because soliciting your friends and family, you will soon run out of friends and family. So how do you expand your influence and go about it as the subject matter expert, knowing what is going to be relevant for a woman who wants skincare, identifying the type of woman that wants skincare, i.e. developing an avatar or a customer persona, and being more effective and efficient rather than a warm body, prospecting for warm bodies. And then teaching that to a mountain of other people.
Wow. So were you doing a bunch of cold prospecting then? Or like, how did it work? Like when okay, so you start brand new in Mary Kay. You just got done with the pharma stuff and the university work. Mm-hmm. You've got no pipeline.
None.
Like walk me through, because you were there for 4 years. Like walk me through from no sales to, I know you joined like the top 4% of Mary Kay, which is incredible.
Yeah. Thanks.
Like I want to know what did you do and what are the secrets to that? Because that's pretty incredible.
I reverse engineered my goals. I said, if I need to replace the income that I was making in pharmaceuticals, here's what I need to do. I just moved to Indiana, so I did not have a network. And I did what they told me to, the 30 faces in the 30 days. But I said, I can't keep going out and talking to friends and family and asking them, because I will run out of friends and family. And it just didn't work for me. So I came up with a referral system. Whereas I would ask you, who do you know would enjoy what we just went through, i.e. the facial? And so I would walk away from every facial and every skincare party with 50 to 60 names of warm referrals. Wow. And all I had to do was just call them. And it was a much easier process.
So you host a party. Everyone at the party, you would ask for referrals. You'd get a bunch of referrals and then you'd start and then it just would grow.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny how even in B2B sales, like I know even my company, we're not leveraging referrals and our network as much as we could be. What are some secrets to making sure that you get the referrals to build the book of business?
It starts with outstanding service. Making sure that your customers are evangelizers, making sure that they are equipped with the enthusiasm to go out and tell their friends. Then you have to give them the sound bites to be able to go out and tell their friends and give them ideas of, hey, if you like, you have to ask them, did you like your service here? What are your thoughts on how we treated you, the experience? And if they come back and say yes, and that has to be done over a conversation, not a survey. If they say yes, then you say, we'd always like to improve. Please tell me how we can do that. and they will give you feedback. So once you've created that safe environment for them to be able to give you honest, relevant feedback, then you can say, who do you know that would love to experience the great service that you just described to me?
That's
and they
awesome.
will say, well, I really don't know anybody offhand, because that's just natural. So then you say, who are the last 10 people that you texted? Or who are the last 10 people?
Oh, that's so good. That's a great secret.
Yeah,
everyone's going to say, well, let me think about it.
Exactly. And you say, you know what? That's common, because I'm putting you on the spot. Let me give you can I give you some thought provokers or some starters? Yeah. Who did you just text?
Last 10 people you texted.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Oh yeah. And then it starts them thinking. And you have to ask them again and again and again.
So to do the parties, by the way, would you literally just have to, like, how do you go about, you don't know anyone in Indiana.
Nope.
You're like, I'm going to throw a part, like, how does that even work?
I was at a new job and I asked a coworker.
Okay.
I said, you know what? I'm doing this Mary Kay thing. I was really just whatever. Can I practice on you? Don't know anything about skincare, but can I practice on you? And she said, sure. So we had a glass of wine. I practiced on her, put the wrong stuff on the wrong side and all that good stuff. And so I'm following the script and I thought, you know what? This is awful. And I said, but I'm on a mission to make this work. Who do you know that I could practice on? And she said, I can't think of anybody. Cynthia, you're really bad. And I said, that's why I need the practice. I can't think of anybody. Who are the last 10 people that you texted?
It's awesome. And then it just blew up from there.
Yep.
Nice. And then you did that for a while. Like, what was, what was the biggest, did you have any big failure, the successes, it sounds like working your network and getting the referrals was a huge part of the success. What was a down point for you, running your own book of business, like a failure or learning experience that you went through doing the Mary Kay sales work?
I did not have an avatar, an ideal customer persona of who I was going after. I thought that if women wash their face, they are a good candidate for me. But that's not true. Just like not everybody drinks Schlitz beer, not everybody drinks Fat Tire. There's a different avatar for the type of persona who drinks that type of beer. So when I got granular and specific on who I was going after, number one, they had to believe in anti-aging skincare. Number two, they had to be of a certain socioeconomic level to be able to afford high-level skincare. And number three, they had to have a network of people that they could go out and refer to me. When I started crafting that avatar, I was able to spot her and go after her. So therefore, I was more targeted and more effective.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. All about, at first when you didn't have that avatar, the ideal customer persona, it was all over the place. Then once you figured it out, it helped you dial everything in, like kind of like pick a niche and get rich per se.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
When you try to market to everybody, you miss everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like going to a train station and just yelling, hey, everybody, hey, everybody. Whereas like if John's right here and you yell, hey, John, they're going to look at you.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So
you got to be granular and specific.
I know you got all these awards, at Mary Kay, the Princess Court, the Star Team Builder, top 50, it was awesome. Like really cool. I loved learning about your experience there. And then you went to, you decided to leave that and go into logistics.
I did.
Tell me a little bit about, why you were looking for a move from Mary Kay and walk us through the sales experience at TQL.
I wasn't really looking for a new experience. I fell in love.
You just love transportation and logistics?
No, I fell in love with a guy. And
that's hilarious.
Yes,
okay.
I fell in love and I decided to relocate from Indiana to where he was. And I said, well, I love him more than I love my business. So I started over and got a job.
Damn.
I know.
That's super self. What is it called? Service
I don't know.
or whatever.
I don't know. I don't even know.
So, where did you have to move to?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh shit! You're in my backyard. You had to move to my backyard. We're in Columbus, Ohio, right now.
Okay.
So, okay. So you moved to Cincy.
I did.
Isn't that where TQL's headquartered?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. So you're searching for a new job in Cincy.
I just put my resume out there and they called me.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you joined. Walk us through that experience from like.
Oh, I almost quit because I was listening to all these, because you go through so much training and then you listen to the brokers who are out of training. And I was listening to this broker and he's saying, it's so hard. You've got to do all these cold calls, 125 a day, and you get hung up on and cussed out. And I thought, what have I gotten myself into? I know how to sell, but I've never been cussed out. I've never been hung up on. And so I started looking for other jobs. And then I thought, you know what? Wait a minute, Cynthia. Just because it's hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. So I took all of the sales that I had I was making
that
calls.
Quote too, by the way, just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Right. So I took that experience, and Cecilia, I'll never forget her. She came up to me and she said, Cynthia, you are too nice. I said, what? She said, you're dealing in a male-dominated industry. You're dealing with all men, and you're dealing with truckers who are men. You have got to stop being so nice. I said, but I am nice. I believe that you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. And so she said, try this, try this, try this. But it wasn't me. I am respectful. I'm kind. I'm firm. But to say that I should sell a different way because I just happen to be in a different industry, it doesn't make good sense. I believe that if you sell authentically and true to yourself, you will go further than as opposed to the other way around. So I took my personality and I took what I knew and became a subject matter expert in trucking. I learned everything about flatbeds and
awesome.
reefers and weight limits and divisible loads and tarps and all that good stuff. And I crushed it.
Wow.
I crushed it. I increased my revenue probably 4 times.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's an awesome feeling.
Yeah, it is. It is. I've got expensive taste.
So I bet. So let's dial in a little bit about that. Like how did you do that? So you became the subject matter expert. You knew there's a lot of SMEs, right?
Yeah.
Who can't sell shit. So
right.
you like, there's a lot of people probably at TQL that knew a lot about the flatbeds and the different trucks. Yeah,
because we're all trained on it, right?
You're all trained on it. So how did you do that into, increasing your income 4x or whatever? What were you doing differently? Like, what were the secrets there?
I patterned my behavior after the top brokers. There was a guy on my team, Rob. He was amazing. He was $1 million broker. And I went and I sat behind him and I watched what he did all day. He had a team of account executive interns and I said, what is he doing? He had 2 monitors. I said, okay, everybody's got 2 monitors. Rob didn't vary. His screen was all about business. There was no Facebook. There was no LinkedIn. There was no Instagram on his phone. He was all about business. So I said, you know what? I'm going to, for the next 30 days, I'm going to be all about the business too. So I deactivated my Facebook account so it wouldn't even be a temptation. Took the apps off of my phone. And then I said, so Rob, what is your secret to success? And he said, every Monday I walk in the door ready to work. And I said, well, what does that mean? He said, I do my prospecting during the Reds games on Sunday. And I said, what do you mean? There's nobody in the office. He said, I create my list so that I'm ready to go on Monday. And so I walked in the door on Monday morning with a list of 500 cross-reference possible prospects, and I was ready to smile and dial.
Love it.
And then I said, okay, so what if I could get, taking my Mary Kay experience, and I said, what if I could get granular and specific? So instead of calling a blueberry company on Monday and then at 2:00 calling a window walls company and doing different verticals or different industries, I said, what would happen if I took and concentrated on one industry and got really good at it? So I took one industry, 500 prospects on Monday, and slowly started calling. And those conversations and the things that I learned would enable me by Wednesday calling the same list to sound like I know what I'm talking about. So I specialized in curtain walls, window walls, which is those huge windows in skyscrapers, knowing how to haul them. What kind of straps do you need? What kind of tarps do you need? What kind of flatbed do you need? Step deck, weight limits, all that good stuff. Timing of the appointments and dock settings and fees and all of that good stuff. So I was able to converse with my prospects like I knew what I was talking about rather than just a freight broker.
I love that. You picked, again, it sounds like that was a recurring micro secret. You picked the ideal niche again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you kind of tripled down on doing all of your research on off hours. I'm taking notes on my phone, creating lists, right? Like doing all the list building, all that research. Like, what was the guy's name again? Rob?
Rob. Mm-hmm.
Rob, during off hours, and then Monday through Friday, just crank. Yeah. I also love the deactivating and staying off of all the non-sales stuff.
Yeah.
Like I even downloaded a Chrome extension that blocks it. Like only lets you on those sites for like a minute a day or something.
Yeah.
Like, now I don't need it because I never go on them. So it doesn't matter. Like, but when I first started, I would like create these things that would create those habits.
Yes.
To stay off, stay away.
It's laser focus. Mm-hmm. If you can laser focus for a short amount of time and get in the weeds and become excellent at what you do, you can live a lifestyle that others only dream about. But it takes that sacrifice. It takes
sacrifice in the focus.
Yeah. The girlfriend saying, you know what, let's go out for a night on the town. And I say, no, I've got goals and I've got dreams.
Yep.
So now I'm able to go out to dinner with whomever I want to, whenever I want to, wherever I want to. And those girlfriends are still working a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I love that. It's tough. It's tough to do that with all the social pressures. Like
there is.
How'd you stay true to like not giving up on your goals and dreams to go do easier stuff, right? Like
there are push motivators that we have, and there are pull motivators. Those push motivators are attached to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I need to make sure that I have enough money for food, for rent, for my car payment, for insurance. Once you have those met, if you still have those goals in order to meet those objectives, then there's nothing to get you to the higher levels. So you and I both know that if you have it, let's say in your mind, you think that you're a $50,000 employee. If your income dips 10% below that, you will scramble, your mind will scramble to get you back to that 50%. The reverse holds true too. If you go 10% above that 50%, your mind will self-sabotage because you're not comfortable at 10% either way. So you need to come up with pull motivators. What is going to get me to $100,000? Then you develop the mindset in order to go after that $100,000. But it's a mind shift. You can't go to an employee and say, I see you as a $100,000 employee. What are your goals to get there? And he's saying, you know what, man, I'm eating ramen and tuna, smiling and dialing every day. I can't even conceive getting to 100,000.
Yeah, it's like a complete mind shift, a complete goal shift, habit shift.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to have big goals. Big goals. You've heard this before. Goals so scary, goals so big they scare you. But you also have to have the self-concept that says, I am worth $250,000 a year.
Yep. I love that.
They print new money every day. Why shouldn't I get mine?
Yeah, I 10x our goals every year. It's exhausting.
Yes.
I'm trying to hit this massive number right now, and it's crazy. And I'm tired trying to figure it out. But dude, you just can't stop. You just got to figure it out. You got to make it happen.
No, your competition is working hard, so why shouldn't you?
Yeah, you got to go all out, no matter
All
what.
out, all out.
Wow. So you master the TQL. You like triple down on focus, time, dedication, cut out all the bullshit, anything that distracted you from success. Did all your list building during off hours. Any other micro secrets there at TQL that helped you just really rise above and 4x your income?
It was hard work, and it was selling authentically. I knew things about my prospects that they probably wouldn't tell their wives.
Wow.
Yeah.
How would you get them to open up like that?
First of all, I had to approach them because I had that, a woman in freight brokerage sales is an anomaly. So I had to overcome that barrier.
Like an outlier, right?
Right. So letting them know, hey, I know what I'm talking about. And I know how to help you because I was reading journals on their industry. And it wasn't about journals about trucking. It was about construction, rates of construction in the city where they had targets and where they had customers. So if I knew that there was a bidding process for a new skyscraper in Houston, I would send it over to him and say, does your company know about this project? And do you want to bid on it? I saw this article. You might want to bid on this project.
Love it. That's
Valued
really
resource. Again, I'm in the industry. I know your verbiage. I can talk your talk. Yeah.
And you had that confidence. It sounds like you had that confidence too, just because you had the knowledge and the dedication of the industry and the people where anyone that questioned you, you had the confidence and the authenticity to just be able to address it or kind of command what they should do.
Yes. Competence breeds confidence.
Competence breeds confidence. I like that. Another micro secret.
You can't fake confidence if you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Right. Totally. And I love the honey. What was the honey quote?
Oh, you get more bees with honey than vinegar.
Yeah, you get more bees with honey than vinegar.
Or flies. I think it's flies with honey, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, you get more flies with honey than vinegar. Yeah, because bees don't eat honey. Yeah, it's flies. It's flies.
Got it. There we go. I like the bee one better though.
I know. Me too. I
know. Okay, so you crushed TQL, and then getting into present day today. So then you decide to leave and launch the Barnes Sales Institute.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So, sometimes in life you see things that make you say, things that make you go, And I was on Facebook one day and it said, what is your legacy? What are you leaving? And I said, the true measure of my success is not going to be that I was at the top of every single leaderboard that I've ever tried to be on. The true mark of my legacy and my success is whether or not I'm able to help others do that. And then I took a step further and said, if I'm able to help others, how many others can I help? So then I said, okay, so what do you do well, Cynthia, better than anybody else? And I said, okay, well, I can sell. Then, knowing that I had to have a niche to get rich, I said, who am I going to help? I can help women sales professionals get to the top 1%.
It's awesome.
So then I started with a small group and I developed sales training created by women for women, because remember, I had to adapt everything that I learned for myself. And it's almost double duty. So I said, what would happen if women had sales training and coaching created by them or created by women for women, exclusively for them? Would we be able to cut down on the learning curve? Would we be able to boost their confidence, knowing that if I can teach you how to sell or how to get the end result and leave the method up to you, how much more effective would you be? So I can teach you, here are the steps to the sales process. How you get there is up to you, as long as you get there.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So then you launch this sales institute for women by women.
It was sales training and coaching. And I said, okay, how do I make this scalable? How do I affect the masses? Go big or go home. So then I said, okay, I'm going to start a little group in Detroit, just sales training. And it was a meetup group. And then they said, would you bring it to Grand Rapids on the other side of the state? And then it grew to 21 different locations. And I said, it's time to level up. So that's when we became NAWSP, got corporate sponsors, got ambassadors, and now we're blowing it up.
Oh, that's amazing. What was the big success there, the big takeaways there, successes or failures that you learned from, the micro secrets there?
I learned that you should fail fast, but fail forward.
Okay.
And don't be so married to an idea that you're not willing to change it. If it's not working, ditch it. So I operate on three principles. If it doesn't grow me, serve me, or make me happy, I have to respect myself enough to walk away from it. The same thing holds true for business. If it doesn't grow you, if it doesn't serve you, and it doesn't bring joy, then you've got to change it. And only you can change that.
Yeah, I like that. Grow you, serve you, make you happy.
Yep. Respect yourself enough to walk away from it. You are the author of your life.
Yeah, I love that. That's incredible. Fail fast, fail forward.
Yes.
Grow, serve, make you happy, or you got to ditch it or change it.
Yep.
And do you have an example of like where you failed fast and if you failed slow, the whole business would have shut down? Like, do you have an example there?
If I had kept on trying to grow as fast as we were growing in the beginning, we wouldn't be around because we were growing so fast and trying to serve everybody who needed to be served, opening up chapters every single place without having a system in place in order to do it with excellence. So we had to slow down the progress, get some duplicatable systems in place in order for us to be able to grow even faster, but more effectively.
Got it. Slow down to speed up.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's great. That's really exciting. And to create the repeatable processes, did you just learn a lot of that from like the Mary Kay stuff?
I actually have great coaches and mentors. I surround myself with people who know more than I do and who can take me to the next level. Your income is the reflection of the 5 closest people to you. So I don't hang with anybody who makes less money than I do or who is not as successful as I am, because I always want to grow more.
It's the only way to level up.
Exactly.
That's why it's funny for me. Like, I'm trying to like follow the billionaires.
Absolutely.
And like people would be like, oh, why aren't you happy? It's like, well, like fulfillment to me is like reaching that level. And dude, when you raise the bar,
yes,
everything changes.
It does. It does. And you surprise yourself and you say, you know what? That was incredible. I did that. So let's raise the bar again.
Yeah. Just keep raising it.
Yeah. And do it fast, because fast is fun. Slow is painful.
Yeah. You got to go fast.
You got to go fast. Even if you make mistakes and you have to pivot, you've got to have that speed, because if you take it slowly, then a plane doesn't enter the air slowly. It ramps up. It's on the runway. It taxis. It's fast. You've got to go. You've got to go fast.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're here now. I feel like we're at the sales secret. So sales secrets from the top 1%, where the world's best sales experts, Cynthia Barnes, share their secrets to sales success. If you had to decide on one sales secret to tell yourself when you first started in sales, if you had to hire someone to write a top sales secret down on a piece of paper and give it to them and say, follow this and this will maximize your sales success, what is your number one top sales secret for the audience?
Take the limits off whatever you think that you can achieve.
Okay.
Don't let anyone impose limits on you. And whatever it is that you think you're capable of, throw that out the window. and dream bigger than you ever have. It breaks it down to, why not me?
Throw your limits out the window.
Yes. Why not me? Why not you?
Wow.
I know that. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, so throw your limits out the window, like whatever you're thinking you can do or that you can only do, disregard it completely.
Exactly.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because there is no one else like you in all of this world. So if the top person in your company is making $250,000 a year, don't shortchange yourself by only aspiring to be where they are. So if the commission is uncapped and the top person is making $250, why set yourself to achieve what someone else achieved? Why not set yourself to achieve double that? Because if it's possible to make $250, it's possible to make $500.
Right. And if it's possible to make $5, it's possible to make $1 million.
Exactly. And why not you?
Yeah. The whole world has been created by people no other than people like you and me.
Exactly. Exactly. They are no more special than you, and there's only one of you.
How did you develop that limitless mindset?
My parents.
Yeah, same here.
They told me I can do anything that I set my mind to as long as I was willing to work hard.
Yeah, same exact scenario for me and my father. Same thing.
Yeah. And
that's like the most important thing, I think, for personal development. When you're a kid.
And do some research on the U.S. Mint. They really do print new money every day.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay. So, think limitless. Don't limit yourself. Throw any barriers out the window. The key. Let's think about how we could break this down so the audience can apply it.
Okay.
So key takeaways, because the chapter is going to be like, throw your limits out the window. Why it's important to do that, and then how can the audience execute starting to apply this secret today? So like, how would you recommend the audience to like throw their limits out the window and start brand new with massive goals and targets?
If time, money, and ability were not factors, what would you have? Who would you be? What would you do?
Wow. Say that one more time. If time,
money, and resources were not a factor.
Okay.
What would you have? Who would you be? And what would you do?
Wow. And what you would do. I'm taking notes. What you would have, what would you be, and what you would do.
Yeah.
I love that. And then, so you write that stuff down, and then what?
Then you write down, what does it take to get that? Regardless of where you are right now, what does it take to get that?
Okay.
Regardless of who you have access to, it takes this, and this. Okay, I don't have this, and I don't have this, and I don't have this. Now cultivate a plan to get it.
Boom. Say, identify who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to get, everything that you need to get there.
Yes.
And then execute on getting the things that get you there.
And break it down into the most minute and minuscule activity that you can measure. So if I want to make $1 million next year, and I know that it's going to, and I reverse engineer everything, and I know that I need to make X amount of calls every single day, do this amount of LinkedIn outreach, I can do that. Those are the activities that I can measure. A lot of times people say, well, I want to make $200,000 a year, but they don't break it down into those actionable items that they do on a day-to-day basis.
Yep.
I know that in 5 years, I want to be on Oprah's couch when you tune in on Super Soul Sunday.
That's awesome.
So it's going to take me reverse engineering to say, what do I need to do today in order to position myself to be on that 11 o'clock hour?
Love it.
Why not me?
Why not you? What'd you come up with for that list? What do you need to do to get on Oprah?
I need to position myself as an influencer.
Okay.
I need to be on the content is huge. Content is what people can see when they don't see me. Speaking of engagements, where does that come from? It comes from the content. Everything comes from the content and positioning myself as a subject matter expert. How do I do that? I am a voracious reader. Everything on women in sales, if it's not out there, I create it. So I read Harvard Business Review. I read about women in leadership. I read about women in the workforce. I read about gender diversity, what's happened in the past, what's happening now, what's going to happen in the future, so that I can be the authority on women in sales and what it takes to attract, hire, retain, and develop them from a corporate side. And also, what is it that the 13,500 members of NAWSP need to ascend in their career, whether they want to be $1 million person or they just want to go into sales leadership or they want to be an individual contributor? What do they need?
That's awesome.
It's a daily quest. It's a daily quest. And that's what I do.
If time, money, and resources were not a factor, what would you have? What would you be? And what would you do?
Yeah. Who would you be and what would you do?
I love that. Throw your limits out the window is the sales secret. We've got the what, the why, and the how.
Yes, so that you can
Cynthia
dance on the glass ceiling. Yes, dance on the glass ceiling.
This was awesome. I'm so thankful and grateful to have you on this show. Where can the audience follow you, connect with you, tune in for more to get more content from you before you get on Oprah?
LinkedIn is my baby. If somebody out there from LinkedIn is looking or listening, connect with me on LinkedIn.
That's awesome.
I don't get a commission off of any part of LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is the platform for business. I love LinkedIn. There's also nawsp.org. If you want to become a member of our community, we've got an app so you can plug in there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I am accessible and I'm here to help.
That's amazing. Well, thank you, Cynthia Barnes, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. And thank you, audience, for tuning in to Sales Secrets from the Top 1%, where the world's best sales experts share their secrets to sales success. Order your copy of the book at secretsalesbook.com. That's secretsalesbook.com, secretsalesbook.com. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Sales Secrets from the Top 1%. We release new episodes every Monday and Thursday, so make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube to never miss an episode.